K Tiwari here once again on the platform of the new Lyceum for English Literature, and in the series of literary theory, today you are going to have your second lecture, and second lecture is on structuralism. Structuralism is divided into several parts, and out of several parts this one is going to be your first lecture, part 1, and in this lecture, in the part 1, I will cover the basic concept of structure, how a structure is formed, and what is the main ideas of Ferdinand de Saussure, the father of modern linguistics. Let's start your topic one by one with a few examples. Just see what is it. Here on your screen, you see that there are several pictures, words, punctuations, pauses, phrases, sounds, figure of speech, rhythm, rhyme. These are the components, these are the elements of a poem. These are the elements of a poem, or these are the elements of poems. A poem is made of all these things. A poet is made of words, rhyme, rhythm, phrases, figure of speech, words, everything consists of, and all these things combinedly make a poem. All these things combine and then they make a poem. It means these are the parts of, and in each poem written by any writer, written by any poet, you find all these things. Meanings keep on varying. Meanings keep on varying, but these things are same, and these things are called structure. These things make a structure. Right here, we are analyzing a piece of poem, a piece of poetry. A poem is made by all these things. Means all these things have their meaning in relation to each other. If you put words here, then words won't have any meaning. It will be meaningless. Meaning comes in opposition. Meaning comes in relation. Meaning comes through rationality. These are the parts of structure. They create a structure, and all these components form a poem formation. Alright, this is called structure. Once again, I come to another point. These are the parts of poem, elements of poem. Here another picture is here. Novel, drama, poem, fiction, and essay. These are the different forms. These are the different genre of literature. These are the different genre of literature. So how can you understand a poem? We differentiate a poem from a drama. We differentiate a novel from a fiction. And we differentiate a fiction from an essay, a poem, a drama, or novel. Right? So this is another structure. This is another structure. Literature could be divided into various parts. Literature could be divided into various genera. These are the genera: novel, drama, poem, fiction, and essay, and all of them make literature. Right? All of them make literature, and without literature they don't have any meaning, and without these elements literature doesn't have any meaning. This is called structure. This is called structure, and literature is made of this structure. right? Literature is made of this structure. One more example. In this structure called literature, each form generates meaning in particular ways. Each form generates meaning in particular ways. And what are the particular ways? Poem, literature, and then literature is the part of culture. Poem is the part of literature. Literature is the part of culture. First, we were here on a poem, then we come to literature, then we come to culture, right? Everything is relational and everything exists on a permanent and certain structure. When we talk about the structure of culture, you have cinema, reportage, television, political speeches, myths, tradition, social media equals to culture, and literature is one of the parts of culture. Literature is one of the parts of culture. This is the structure of culture, right? This is the structure of culture, and literature could be any part of it, right? Literature could be any part of it. This is called structure, right? Structure, then literature means everything is put against anything, right? Everything is put against something, and then only we can understand the meaning. What is literature? Then you have to compare literature with all these things, and then you could reach to the meaning. What is a poem? Then you have to compare with other parts of literature, novel, drama, right? Fiction, essays, reportage. Then you will come to know that this is different from all these things, and this is a poem, this is a prose, this is an essay, this is a drama, this is a novel, this is the short story, and this is elegy, this is lyric, this is sonnet, this is blah blah blah, right? Means everything exists in a structure, and this theory of structure was propounded by Ferdinand de Saussure, who is called the father of modern linguistics, right? Father of modern linguistics, and he was a Swiss, and he was a veteran scholar in Sanskrit literature, in Sanskrit poetics, and in Sanskrit grammatology, right? I hope now it's clear, right? I hope now it's clear. One more time, I will show you the 3 slides. First, these are the component parts of poem. When we understand, when we evaluate, when we judge a poem, these are the elements through which we can arrive to the meaning. And then poem is put under a broad category. Then poem is a part of literature, right? Poem is a part of literature, and literature is a part of culture, right? Literature is the part of culture, and how to decipher the meaning. How to decipher the meaning. This is the very essence of all literary theories. How to decipher, what to decipher, and how to decipher. Culture is a structure where these various forms exist in relation to each other. The various forms that we discussed in the previous slide. Meaning is generated when we understand the rules by which myth, literary texts, and social behavior are linked to each other. Meaning is generated when we understand the rules by which myth, literary texts, and social behavior are linked to each other. Myth, social behavior, and literary texts are linked to each other. Structuralism is interested in the relationship. In the relationship of what? In the relationship between the elements of a structure that results in meaning. Structuralism is interested in the relationship between the elements of structures. Between the elements of structure. What are the elements of a poem? what are the elements of a novel, what are the elements of a literature, what are the elements of culture. And structuralism is interested in these elements, right? Structuralism is interested in these elements, in these structures that results in meaning. Meaning is the effect of, how does meaning come? Meaning is the effect of the coming together of elements. It follows that if we understand rules governing the relationship between elements, we can decipher the process of meaning production, right? We can decipher the process of meaning production. How is meaning produced? And we can only know, we can only understand the process of meaning production if we know, if we understand the rules governing the relationship between elements, right? If we know the rules governing the, what are the rules? If we know the rules governing the elements, we can decipher the process of meaning production. Meaning production is the ultimate task. Meaning production is the ultimate task. And what are the process of meaning production? The process of meaning production is to know all the structures, right? We have to know the governing elements, we have to know the parts, we have to know the elements, we have to know the structure, and then we will put the words right on that structure, and then only we could get to the meaning. Means meaning itself is relational. Meaning itself is relational, and meaning comes through differences. Meaning comes through differences. Meaning is not permanent. Meaning can change. Meaning keeps on changing. Meaning keeps on traveling. We can never arrive to the meaning if we are looking, if we are trying to reach the meaning through differences. But structuralism says no, everything is based on structure. You have to understand the structure. Structure is permanent. Structure is permanent, and meaning is not permanent. Meaning is dynamic and structure is stable. Meaning is dynamic, structure is stable. All right. Structuralism, according to Jonathan Kohler. Jonathan Kohler was a theoretician. He was a structuralist philosopher. And according to him, there are 4 basic components of structuralism. What does structuralism do? What is structuralism? Structuralism is an attempt to describe the language of literature, right? It is an attempt to describe the language of literature. Literature is written in language. Till now, the main focus was on meaning. The main focus was on content. But now, in literary theory, especially linguistic theories, main focus is not on content, but main focus is on how to generate the meaning, how to reach to the meaning, and how can meaning change. Right? So this is a type of reader response. Right? Reader has to fix. Reader has to decide, audience has to decide the meaning, right? The structuralism is an attempt to describe the language of literature in linguistic terms, to capture the distinctiveness of literary structures. Structuralism is the development of narratology that identifies the constituents narrative and their various combinations, and structuralism is an attempt to show how literary meaning depends upon the codes produced by the prior discourses of a culture. Literary meaning depends upon the codes that society had already provided, that society provided in the past, right, produced by prior discourses of a culture. And finally, structuralism promotes analysis of the reader's role in producing the meaning, right? Reader's role in producing the meaning. This is one of the objectives of structuralism. Number 1, structuralism describes Structuralism is an attempt to describe the language of literature. Number one, language of literature in linguistic terms to capture the distinctiveness of literary structures. Point number one. Point number two, structuralism is the development of narratology. Structuralism is the development of narratology that identifies the constituents narrative and their various combinations, and structuralism is an attempt to show how literary meaning are generated, how literary meaning depends on the codes produced by prior discourses of a culture, and in this way structuralism leads us towards reader response theory, towards it provides the importance, it promotes the importance of the reader. The reader is responsible to deduce, to decipher the meaning. Whatever culture, whatever structure he knows, he will describe a piece of literature on the basis of those components, on the basis of those elements. But structure is fixed. Structure is fixed, components are fixed, and words are fixed. Meaning of the words kahan se aayegi? This is the real issue. Ferdinand de Saussure, after describing the basic things of structuralism, structure and elements of structure, position of structure, and the basic objective of structuralism according to Jonathan Collo. Now Ferdinand de Saussure and his critical terms, his linguistic terms. Ferdinand de Saussure was a Swiss linguist born in 1857 and he died in 1913. And the basic book that is related to linguistics that we study today, the Discourse of Modern Linguistics, it was published posthumously in 1915 in French, and later on it was translated into English in 1959. Known as the father of modern linguistics, he defended his dissertation, the use of absolute genitive in Sanskrit, and was awarded his doctorate in February 1880. He did his PhD in Sanskrit. He lectured in Sanskrit and Indo-European at the University of Geneva, memoir on the primitive system of vowels and Indo-European languages. This was his book. And the second book, A Course on General Linguistics, published posthumously in 1915, translated in English in 1959. Course in General Linguistics, not a discourse in General Linguistics. I beg pardon here. Right, Course in General Linguistics was a book that he wrote in around 1913, but it was published in 1915 for the first time, and then it was translated into English in 1915. And here, this is the opening of linguistic structuralism. Right, opening of linguistic structuralism starts with the arrival of Ferdinand de Saussure. Ferdinand de Saussure were later around 1960s. He was reinterpreted, he was translated, he was understood by scholars, and then structuralism as a theory came into existence. As far as Mr. Ferdinand de Saussure was alive, there was nothing like structuralism, though he talked about structure. He first of all, he talked about two types of linguistics. Two types of linguistics, diachronic linguistics and synchronic linguistics. And in diachronic linguistics and synchronic linguistics, he studies the words, how the meaning of the words are decided. There are two types of words, diachronic and synchronic. Diachronic, how words acquire meaning over time. How words acquire meaning over time. You know that words keep on changing the meaning over time. For example, a real example I am going to give you, positive. What do you mean by positive? Positive means assertive. Positive means confident. Positive means plus, and positive is the very positive thing. Everyone says that you should be positive, don't be hopeless, you have a bright career ahead, you have to be positive. Meaning of positive is positive, plus, assertive, something hopefulness, something optimist. But during the COVID time, the word positive changed its connotation, and nobody liked to be COVID positive. Nobody liked to be COVID positive. This is called diachronic, how the meaning changes over time. This is called diachronic study. Alright, second example. Word glamour. Glamour. If someone says that she is a glamorous girl, and you know that she is glamorous means she is very beautiful. But during the Middle Ages, the word glamorous meant witch. And if you had said someone, you are glamorous, it means you were witch, and she would have reacted against your wishes. Right? So words keep on changing. Words keep on changing their meaning, and that is called diachronic. Right? Diachronic means historical context, historical meaning. And the next one is synchronic. Synchronic means words, the meaning of the words that is used today. The meaning of the word that is used today is called it's called synchronic. We needed to see how words mean within a period and a part of general system of language, that is diachronic, and synchronic, words within the current state of the language and not at its history. Right? Words within the current state of language. Current status unka kya hai? Current state of language, and not at its history. This is diachronic and synchronic. I hope you would have understood the point. Diachronic means historical assessment, historical meaning, right? Historical linguistics meaning, right? Words that were used earlier. And synchronic means the meaning of the word today, the meaning of the word at present, right? This is called synchronic. Like, let me define a bit more. This is a quotation from a book written by Colleen Ellen Donnelly, Linguistics for Writers, State University of New York Press, published in 1994. This is a quotation from there. Diachronic studies of languages and synchronic studies of language. Diachronic studies, diachronic linguistics is the historical study of language. Diachronic means historical study of language, whereas synchronic linguistics is the geographic study of language. Diachronic is historical study and synchronic is geographical study. Geographical study, today its location, today its position, right? Diachronic linguistics refer to the study of how a language evolves over a period of time. How a language evolves over a period of time. Period of time is diachronic and point of time is synchronic. Tracing the development of English from Old English period to the 20th century is a diachronic study. Right? From Old English, starting from the 5th century BC to the present, if you are tracing the history of development of language, that is diachronic. A synchronic study of language is a comparison of languages or dialects, various spoken differences of the same language used with some defined special reason and during the same period of time, determining the regions of the United States in which people currently say pop rather than soda and idea rather than idea are examples of the types of inquisitive, penitent, pertinent to synchronic study. So you understood now that diachronic means historical record of the word, historical record of the language, and synchronic means the current uses. Right? Diachronic means period of time, and synchronic means point of time. Alright, this is the difference between diachronic and synchronic, and both the words are very important for your examination. So I hope you will keep in mind, you would have understood the point that Ferdinand de Saussure wanted to convey through these two words, diachronic and synchronic. Alright, diachronic and synchronic. Most of Saussure's successors accepted the synchronic diachronic distinction, which still survives robustly in 21st century linguistics. In practice, what this means is that it is accounted a violation of principles or linguistic methods to include the same synchronic analysis evidence related to diachronically different times. For example, citing William Shakespeare's Shakespearean forms would be regarded as inadmissible in support of, say, an analysis of grammar of Dickens. Saussure is particularly severe in his strictures upon linguistics who conflate synchronic and diachronic facts. And once again, this is a quotation from another book of linguistics written by Roy Harris, Linguistic after Ferdinand de Saussure, and published from Routledge. It is a Routledge companion to Semiotics and Linguistics, edited by Paul Cobley, Routledge, in 2001. Right, so I have quoted here two prominent writers, two prominent linguists, right? Two prominent linguists, one who wrote an essay in the Routledge Companion to Literature, Routledge Companion to Semiotics and Linguistics, and the first quotation was by Colin Ellen Donnelly and his book Linguistics for Writers, published from USA State University of New York, right, regarding diachronic and synchronic. Alright, synchronic linguistics and diachronic linguistics. Synchronic linguistics is the study of language at a particular time. At study of language at a particular time, right? In contrast, diachronic linguistics studies the development of language over time. These are the lines for your examination. Synchronic linguistics is the study of language at a particular time. Diachronic means diachronic linguistics studies the development of language over time. And synchronistic linguistics is often descriptive, analyzing how the parts of language or grammar work together. How the parts of grammar or language work together. This is the objective of synchronic linguistics. Alright? Alright then, alright. Let's proceed. Another two terms given by Ferdinand de Saussure. Langue and parole. Langue and parole means langue. Langue means set of rules. Set of rules. And parole means language in context. Parole is called live language. Parole is called live language, and langue is called set of rules. It is grammar. For example, you write a set of rules for a sentence: subject, verb, object. This is a set of rules. If you want to write a sentence, this is the general pattern. Subject is followed by verb, and verb is followed by object. Subject, verb, object. But if you write a sentence here, Jyoti cooks food. Jyoti cooks food. Jyoti is the subject, cook is the verb, and food is object. Alright, this set of rule, subject, verb, object, it is called lang. And Jyoti cooks the food, this is the language in context. This is the language in context, this is called parole. And language in context is also called live language. Right? It is also known as live language. Language is live here. Right? Jyoti cooks food. This is the example of parole, and subject, verb, object. This is the example of lang. Lang means grammar, lang means structure, and parole means the language in context, language in use. Lang will remain same. You can write another sentence here. Just say you are watching a video lecture. You are watching a video lecture. You is subject. Verb is are watching, and object is a video lecture. Right? Subject, verb, and object means lang will remain same and parole will change. Parole means language in context. One more example. In mathematics, you learn tables. 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4, 2 threes are 6. What does it mean? It means nothing. It means nothing. It is just a structure. But when you go to the market and you buy 3 eggs and 1 egg costs 2 rupees. 1 egg costs 2 rupees, and then you multiply 3 into 2 and you pay 6 rupees. Right? You pay 6 rupees to the ex-seller. So when you pay 6 rupees to the seller for 3x, it is the language in context. It is live language, but when you learn the table 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4, 2 threes are 6, it is lang. Lang and parole, the simplest method to know you is this, I hope. And I hope you would have understood the basic concept of lang and parole. Parole is language in context, parole in language, live language, and lang is just a formula, lang is just a set of rules. Alright, next point. For your examination, lang, the rules of sign system, which might be grammar, and parole, the articulation of signs, for example, speech or writing, the sum of which is language. Language means lang plus parole. Language means lang plus parole. Lang and plus parole equals to language, means these two are the components of language. Alright, lang means a system or the rules of sign, and parole means the articulation of signs. Right? Parole means the concepts of signs, for example, speech or writing. Alright, next point. Ferdinand de Saussure says that meaning is relational. How does word give meaning? How do words give meaning? Ferdinand de Saussure says they give meaning according to their relation with other words, with adjacent words, with neighboring words. For example, words existed in relation to each other, meaning emerged in the difference or opposition between words. Meaning of each word was dependent upon the meaning of other words. meaning of each word is dependent upon the meaning of other words. For example, अभी एग्जाम्पल पर आते हैं, just wait a bit more. What is it? You see the picture? What is it? And what is it? Is there any relationship between the image, between the picture and the word written here? Is there any relationship? I hope you understand the point I want to convey. That Ferdinand de Saussure wanted to convey, in fact, that the word does not have any relationship with this picture. This is cat. How could you say? Do you have any logic? Do you have any science to say that this picture belongs to a cat? This is cat. Do you have any idea? Do you have any book where it is written? Do you have any formula? Do you have any scientist who has proved that it is a cat? No. No. The meaning, you know that it is a cat only through convention. Only through convention you know that this is a cat, and there is no relationship between the word cat and the picture cat. There is no relationship at all between this image and this word. Meaning this is a cat, it comes through convention only, it doesn't have to take with cat. Alright, cat might think itself a man, cat might think itself a woman, cat might think itself a tigress, cat might think itself a leopard, and she is free to think anything. कुछ भी सोच सकती है वो. Right? Cat, तो we have given it a meaning. Meaning cat has been attributed to it. Cat doesn't have, the word doesn't have to take anything with the catness. Right? Means meaning and concept. Word and concept, they are arbitrary. What are they? They are arbitrary because neither picture shows that the picture is of cat, neither the word cat shows that it is cat. The word cat doesn't have anything like catness, and cat is independent to think. The meaning of the word, that this is sign and this is signifier. Right? Signifier and signified. Signifier and signified. Signifier is the word, right? The speech, the pronunciation, the sound that we make, that is signifier. And the thing that is signified is the concept. When you call cat, cat is just a signifier, right? And the signified is this image. And the signifier and the signified are related arbitrarily. They are not, they do not have any relationship, but they are just arbitrary. Clear? This is the picture of cat, and the word here is written cat, and cat is not, the word cat is not related to the picture of cat. The meaning, the relationship between word and its concept is arbitrary. Clear? Signifier is the word we speak, and signified is the concept that is suggested through the word. Right? This is pen. This is pen. Pen is, this is the pen. The entire sentence is signifier, and the meaning that you have understood is signified. The meaning that you have understood is signified. This is your screen. This is signifier. Right? And the meaning that you understand is signified. Signified is the concept. Signified is the concept and signifier is the word, signifier is the symbol. Sign, signifier, signified. Right, this is the concept of Mr. Ferdinand de Saussure. The word is connected to the meaning. How? The word is connected to the meaning in purely arbitrary way. There is no relationship at all. They are connected to the meaning in purely arbitrary way. Signifier is the sound phonic component of the word. Signified is the concept behind the word. Signified is the concept behind the word, and sound is the metrica, material manifestations of the abstract concept. Material manifestation of the abstract concept is sound. All right. Thus, Ferdinand de Saussure propounded three concepts about structuralism, three concepts about linguistics. Number one, arbitrariness. And I hope you have understood the meaning of arbitrariness. Arbitrariness means there is no direct relationship between signifier and signified. There is no direct relationship between the word spoken and the concept suggested, concept denoted. Arbitrariness, words have no real connection to their meaning or the things they describe. Right? Words have no real connection to the meaning or the things they describe. The connection are established by convention. This is a glass, and glass, glass doesn't have to take anything with this glass. This is glass because of the convention only. Had our forefathers called it a bottle, today I would have called it a bottle. But by convention it is a glass, so it will remain glass. There is no relationship between the word glass and this glass. This is called arbitrariness. And the second point of Derrida is that relationality. Meaning comes through relations only. Words make sense to us. How? Or have value, as Saussure says, for us in their relationality, in their difference from other words. Cat is cat because it is not hat. Hat is hat because it is not pat. Pen is pen because it is not den. Right? Pen is pen, it is black because it's not white. White because it's not grey. Grey because it's not brown. Brown because it's not pink. So meaning comes through difference. Right? In their relationality, in their difference from other words, words are therefore related to each other in the form of difference and have no absolute value of their own. Right? Words have no value of their own. They have value only in relation to each other. Right? Suppose that you just write here a word cat. It doesn't have any meaning unless it is read, it is understood in relation to other words. And the third word is systematicity. Right? The structure of language or system ensures that we recognize difference. Arbitrariness, relationality, and then systematicity. These are the three principles propounded by Ferdinand de Saussure. Diachronic study, synchronic study, langue, that is also called langue and parole, and then three concepts: arbitrariness, systematicity, and relationality. These are the points, these are the concepts given by Ferdinand de Saussure. Right? Ferdinand de Saussure, structuralism. All right. Structuralism doesn't conclude here. Structuralism doesn't conclude here. Structuralism has several variations, several forms. Russian formalism, Mikhail Bakhtin's theory of Cornwallis heteroglossia, right? Dialogism, that is also the part of structuralism. Even entire narratology is the part of structuralism. And in my next lecture, in my next video, I will talk about Russian formalism, right? Russian formalism will be my next topic, Russian formalism and the poetics, right? And I hope you would have enjoyed the video. You would have understood the concepts that I wanted to convey here. And if still you have any doubt, you can write your message, you can drop your message in your comment box. And if everything is fine, then please do like and share the channel, as I know that you have already subscribed it, right? Like, share and subscribe please, and please do write your comments in the comment box. It will definitely help me improve my lectures, and it will definitely help you improve yourselves. Thank you so much. All the best. Good luck. Jai Hind. Jai Bharat.